Welcome to Department of Aeronautical Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education Research, Chennai. Today, I'm going to explain about properties of perfect gases in fundamentals of aerothermodynamics. Myself, Dr. M. Sundar Raj, Professor in Department of Aeronautical Engineering, BIHER. So first, we are going to discuss about what is the relationship between heat and work and what are all the sign conversion, work and heat. So this work and heat, these two quantities are a form of energy. It's a form of energy. So heat and work are the form of energy in transition. Heat and work are form of energy in transition. They are the only form in which energy can cross the boundary of a system. If you have a system, the energy can either it can enter as the heat energy or work energy, or from the system, the vice versa, the other side. From the system also, it can come out as the heat energy or work energy. These are all the two forms of energy which can cross the boundary of a system. So first, let us consider work energy. What is work energy? So it is a transient quantity which only appears at the boundary while a change of state occurs within a system. In our previous lectures, I explained to you about the piston cylinder arrangement. Today also I will explain to you. So this quantity appears at the boundary of the system. We know what is the system boundary. Please remember the old lectures. So we know what is a system boundary. So it is a transient quantity which only appears at the boundary while a change of state occurs within the system. So we must know, because already we know what is the change of state. So the system is traveling from one equilibrium state to another equilibrium state, or initial state to final state. When a system change of status occurs at the boundary, this energy may be available. Okay, so sign conversion. What is sign conversion? Is that while we calculate the work done in the problems and all, we may get positive answer and negative answer. If you use the proper formula, it will give you the magnitude as well as the direction of the quantity. Okay, so what is the direction of the quantity? Is that we can consider two examples. Say for example, if you take hand pump, which is used to fill the air for your cycle tire, hand pump. Okay, so what is the purpose of that pump? Is to pumping the pressurized gas into the cycle tire. So to increase the pressure, from where it is getting the air, the pump is going to get the air from the atmosphere. Atmospheric pressure, 1 atmosphere is the available, but whatever you are going to send it into the cycle tire, its pressure is little higher. So how that increase in pressure occurs, how it can be possible is that only when you spend some energy on the pump. It means we have to pump it like this. If it is a hand pump, if it is a leg pump, you have to pedal it like that. So what we are doing, actually it is a process, compression process. Normal air, I'm going to get it from the atmosphere. I'm going to compress it and I'll send it into the cycle tube. So for this compression process, what is basic requirement is I need to do some work on the system. The pump is the system now. On the system, I am spending some energy. So work done on the system. Please understand this difference. Similarly, work done by the system, different that work producing device. Here, pump compressor and all work absorbing device. It's observing my energy and it is producing the output. It is called as the work absorbing device. Work producing device also is there. Like we can see that automotive engines, turbines, and all work producing device. When a hot fluid passes through the turbine blades, there the mechanical work energy will be generated because of the thermal energy conversion. But that is the work producing device. Why? What happened? When the turbine blade rotates, it will be connected to the propeller. Propeller will propel the aircraft engine. We know that. So work producing device. So there are two category, major category of equipments. One, it may be a work absorbing device or work producing device. So that is in technically work done by the system. Work done by the system means what? It is the work producing device. Example is turbine. Work done on the system. Work done on the system. That is work absorbing device. That is example is compressor. So work done on the system can be represented as a positive. Work done by the system can be represented by positive. Work done on the system can be represented by negative. So we must be very careful about this sign conversion and also work absorbing device and the work producing device. Now heat energy. It is a form of energy which appears at the boundary when a system changes its state due to difference in temperature between the system and surrounding. In thermodynamic equilibrium, one of the requirement is thermal equilibrium. That example I clearly explained in the previous videos. Please, you can recall those things. When the temperature difference exists, thermal potential exists, system and surrounding, or if the vessel is a conductor, thermal conductor, the heat will automatically flow from high temperature side to low temperature side. Nobody can stop it. So flow of heat energy will be there. Means when the temperature difference between the system and surrounding exists, that is also called as thermal potential, delta T. If it is there, the heat flow will be there. The energy transfer will occur from high temperature side to low temperature side. So again, if you consider a system, there may be two possibilities. The first, in thermal equilibrium, we know that the chamber temperature is 60 degrees, surrounding temperature is 27 degrees centigrade. Because of the temperature difference, heat came out of the system. Heat came out of the system. In previous discussion, in the piston cylinder, air is there. I'm adding the heat energy. I'm supplying energy from the surrounding to the system, by means of some burner or some heater, some heat source. So these two cases we must clearly understand. If you keep a cup of coffee on table whose initial temperature is 60 degrees centigrade, from that coffee heat will be liberated. Heat will be rejected. So coffee is my system. So there, from coffee to atmosphere, heat energy will be rejected. So it is the heat rejection from the system. So that quantity will be represented by negative symbol Q minus. Whereas preparation of the coffee, the cold milk will be there. You just pour it in the pan and keep it on the stove. To prepare the coffee, you have to ignite the stove. There what we are doing, by means of this flame, LPG gas flame, we are adding heat energy, we are supplying energy to the system. So there it is Q plus. Please differentiate these two. So in both the cases, the heat energy crosses the boundary. If we add heat added to the system, it is positive. If heat rejected from the system, it is negative. We must be very clear about this. Work done by the system, work done on the system. Work done on the system means I am doing work. It is loss for me, so it is negative. Work done by the system means it is a gain for me. It's giving to me, so it is positive. Whereas in heat supply, heat added to the system, so positive. Heat rejected from the system, it came out of the system, so negative. So please remember these two sign conversion, it's very important. Next, just to explain about the relationship between heat and work. Here I have considered the same example, whatever we considered yesterday, piston cylinder arrangement. So in the at state 1, a certain quantity of working substance I have. Please look at the boundary of the system also. My system is now that air, blue in color. So we can also see the boundary also. So at state 1, pressure, volume, temperature also, I know P1, V1, T1. So I started adding heat energy. Please look at the sign conversion Q plus, because heat added to the system. Heat added to the system, Q plus. So because of the heat addition, already we discussed about this process sufficiently. Because of this heat addition, what happened? Temperature and pressure will increase, because we are disturbing the pressure, means we are increasing the pressure. Yeah, unbalanced force will be created in the upward direction. Why? Because the weight is constant. See, all the 4 figure, weight is same, but pressure from the inside to outside, from the bottom to top, that pressure force is increasing. So because of that, the piston will get displacement upward direction. It means volume increases. So it means VA is greater than V1. So, but I'm maintaining pressure constant. So maintain the pressure constant only, the piston is getting adjusted. So that I'm mentioning it, just represented it in our PV diagram. So at state 1, volume is minimum, pressure is P1. Then I started adding the heat energy. That piston got displacement only, there is no change in pressure. I observed that the process is executed in such a way that, okay, so it reached state A, state B, state etc. and state 2. So now how the piston got displaced from state 1 to 2, because of whom it happened? Who is the responsible person for this? If you won't add any heat energy, Q plus and all, if you won't add any heat energy, the piston remains at the same position. So because of the addition of heat energy, there is a change in pressure. Because of that, the piston got displacement. So piston means, you know, that air, whatever the working substance is there inside the piston cylinder arrangement, the work is done on the piston. Work done by the system. Please see that. Work done by the system. It's lifting the weight. You kept some weight over the piston. It is lifting. You need some energy, no? So it's work done by the system. Work done by the system. Here in this process, work done by the system. It's lifting the piston upward direction. So my interest is, what is the amount of work done by the system? What is the quantity? How can I calculate? So for that, please remember, from the PV diagram, we can easily calculate what is the work done by the system. Work done, right? So if you want to calculate the work done during this process, so I just marked the 2 coordination points, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, we know initial state and final state of the process, and 3 and 4 corresponding on the x-axis. If you can able to calculate this area under this curve, this is called as the process curve, path of change of state. 1 to 2 is the process curve. It's actually an expansion process. When this expansion process occurring between 1 to 2, what is the work done by the system? That's my interest. So if you can able to calculate the area under this curve, PV curve, area under the PV curve, that will be equivalent to the work done. Please look at the figure. The area under this PV curve is 1, 2, 3, 4. The rectangle 1, 2, 3, 4. So how can I calculate the area of this rectangle? Area of the rectangle is height into breadth. What is the breadth? V2 minus V1. Breadth is V2 minus V1. What is the height? Pressure, P. So P into V2 minus V1 will give you the area under the PV curve, area under the PV curve. So this is equal to work done. It's proved already. So we are very much interested. This, okay, I got the quantity, how much work done by the system I calculated. To do this work, what is the responsible heat energy? What is the responsible heat energy? Who is responsible? So about these things only in forthcoming sessions we are going to discuss. Please, as of now, please remember, very important thing is area under the PV diagram will give you work done. Okay, it may be a work done by the system or work done on the system. Please remember that. So next is the properties of perfect gases. Under that, first we are going to discuss about Boyle's law. Very basic law. I hope students might have studied all these things in their higher studies, higher secondary classes also. But here there is a small derivation is there. That's why I just considered here. So we should start from here only actually. So Boyle's law. So this law was formulated by Robert Boyle. The statement he stated that the absolute pressure of a given mass of perfect gas varies inversely as its volume when the temperature remains constant. Each and every word is important in this. We cannot neglect anything. The absolute pressure P, I'm representing it as P. Absolute pressure P of a given mass of perfect gas. Given mass of perfect gas. Please remember, mass is not defined. Given mass. It may be 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. Given mass of perfect gas varies inversely as its volume. The pressure varies inversely as volume. When, that's very important, when the temperature remains constant. That's Boyle's. Mathematically, P pressure is inversely proportional to volume. P is inversely proportional to volume 1 by V. When T is equal to constant, that is very important. That's why I mentioned it red in color to highlight. T is equal to constant. Or here it is in proportion. So I want to convert it to the equivalent. So PV is equal to constant. That constant is constant of proportionality. PV is equal to constant. So if suppose some process is happening where the temperature maintained constant, assume some process is happening where temperature remains constant, that process is happening between the state 1 to 2, the change of state occurring between state 1 to 2. In what manner? The temperature remain constant means that process is governed by Boyle's law. The most useful form for that particular process 1 to 2, process 1 to 2 is given by P1 V1, that is the pressure at the initial state into volume at the initial state is equal to pressure at the final state, volume at the final state. That's simply called as PV is equal to constant. One data we got now. So Boyle's law says pressure is inversely proportional to volume when temperature remains constant. Next one is Charles' law. Charles' law. The volume of a given mass of perfect gas varies directly as its absolute temperature. The volume of given mass of perfect gas. Here also mass is not defined. Please remember, there is a point, very important. Volume of given mass of perfect gas varies directly as its absolute temperature. When the absolute pressure remains constant. What is the requirement here? Absolute pressure remains constant. If absolute pressure remains constant, the volume is directly proportional to the temperature, absolute temperature. So mathematically, V is directly proportional to T, volume is directly proportional to T when P is equal to constant, or changing the proportionality. V divided by T is equal to constant. The same Charles law equation can be rewritten as V divided by T is equal to volume divided by temperature is equal to constant. Again, if we consider a process state 1 to 2, where the process is happening at constant pressure, the previous case we discussed, right? Work and heat energy we discussed, right? That is the constant pressure process. In such a process is governed by Charles law. Constant pressure process is governed by Charles law. The more useful form of for this state 1 to 2 from the Charles law, we can get it as V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. That is, initial volume divided by initial temperature is equal to final volume divided by final temperature. Simplified form, the most general form is V by T is equal to constant when P is equal to constant. V by T is equal to constant when P is equal to constant. This is Charles law. That is, volume is directly proportional to temperature when pressure is constant. The next one is the Gay-Lussac law. Gay-Lussac law. This law states the absolute pressure of a given mass of a perfect gas varies directly as its temperature. The absolute pressure of given mass of perfect gas varies directly as absolute temperature when the volume remains constant. V is constant here. Volume remains constant. When volume remains constant, what happened? The pressure is directly proportional to temperature. Pressure and temperature will vary. So mathematically, we can see that pressure is directly proportional to temperature when volume remains constant. When volume remains constant. So that here it is the proportionality. So constant of proportionality, if I equate it, P divided by T is equal to constant. Pressure divided by temperature is equal to constant. So for a process 1 to 2, heating process, or it may be a cooling process at constant volume manner. That is very important. Okay, the condition is the process it can be a heating process or it can be a cooling process, but volume must be remains constant. If it is so, the process, suppose if it is happening between the state 1 to 2, then the governing that process will be governed by Gay-Lussac law. Constant volume process will be governed by Gay-Lussac law. The most useful form between the state 1 to 2 will be P1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 divided by T2. That is, initial pressure divided by initial temperature is equal to final pressure divided by final temperature when volume remains constant. The more general form is P by T is equal to constant. So now the first three laws perfect gas laws we learned: Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lussac law. So now next we are going to, using these three laws, we are going to derive two important equations in this thermodynamics. Very important equations: generalized gas equation and characteristic gas equation. Very important. But to derive that equation, these three laws are very, very essential, very important. You must know. That's why now we are switching over to this generalized gas equation. So according to Boyle's law, we already discussed that pressure is inversely proportional to the volume, or it can be rewritten as volume is inversely proportional to pressure, but the requirement is temperature must be equal to constant. Temperature equal to constant. Similarly, according to Charles' law, the volume is directly proportional to temperature. According to Charles' law, volume is directly proportional to temperature when pressure is constant, right? So combining these two equations, that is Boyle's law and Charles' law, V is inversely proportional to P, whereas Charles' law says that V is directly proportional to T. By combining these two equations, we'll get a new equation as V is directly proportional to T by P. Volume is directly proportional to temperature, the ratio of temperature and pressure, T by P, right? So from this, it's actually in proportionality. So PV is directly proportional to T. PV is directly proportional. Cross multiplying that, left hand side I'll get PV is directly proportional to T, or we can rewrite as written as PV is equal to CT, where C is the constant of proportionality. The C is the constant of proportionality. So PV is equal to CT. So that C value, the constant of proportionality is there, no? It depends upon the mass and property of the given gas. The constant of proportionality depends on the mass and property of the given gas. Okay, so more useful form. Suppose that process is happening between state 1 to 2, means the most useful form of this generalized gas equation between the state 1 to 2 is, so P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2, that is equal to PV by T is equal to constant. So from that above equation, we can easily get PV divided by T is equal to C. That C is the constant of proportionality. It depends on mass and properties of the gas. So the generalized gas equation between the state 1 to 2 is P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2 is equal to constant. If suppose the process is happening between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, 3 to 4 like that, means then this equation can be extended. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. It is equal to P3 V3 by T3. The thing is, it must be a perfect gas. That's very important. It must be the working substance must be a perfect gas, right? So this equation is a very one of the important equation, characters, generalized gas equation. Okay, next one is the characteristic gas equation. Characteristic gas equation. So it is nothing but it is the modified form of the generalized gas equation. Characteristic gas equation is modified form of generalized gas equation. What is the modification I'm doing? Please see that it is if the volume V in the general equation is taken as that of 1 kg of gas. Please remember, in while defining the Charles law, Boyle's law, Gay-Lussac law, given mass like that they define. So that I told already, mass can be 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. I don't know. Here, if the working substance mass is fixed, if it is only 1 kg, for that, volume will be fixed. Definitely, there won't be any change. If you consider the volume, which is corresponding to 1 kg of mass, if it is so, what is that volume is called as? If it is so, what is that volume is called as? It is called a specific volume. Specific means, we should remember, specific mean per kg. Please always remember, specific mean per kg, unit mass. So V means total volume. V means total volume. If you calculate the volume for 1 kg, it is called a specific volume. It will be represented by V suffix S. V suffix S, Vs. V suffix S. So in that case, suppose if your working substance is only 1 kg, the constant of proportionality C was there, no? That will be represented by capital R. The very important criteria, parameter. It's very important. R. What is that R? Just see that. So here for the discussion, for the derivation of the characteristic gas equation, I consider only 1 kg of mass. So its volume is Vs. So the generalized gas equation can be rewritten as, suppose if mass is 1 kg, then the constant of proportionality capital C should be replaced as capital R. So that generalized gas equation can be rewritten as PV suffix S is equal to capital R into T. PV is equal to RT, where R is the characteristic gas constant, where R is the characteristic gas constant or simply gas constant. It's the characteristic gas constant or simply gas constant. What? So we must always remember what is capital R. Capital R is the characteristic gas constant or simply a gas constant. So for any mass, see that equation is for 1 kg of mass, but it is not necessary that your system must have always 1 kg of mass. It can have a 10 kg, 20 kg, 100 kg. So if it is so, so we have to make the equation as generalized. So mass, I don't know, it may be a 10 kg, 20 kg. So I'm considering mass is equal to m kg of mass is there. If it is the case, what happened? So m kg of mass, the characteristic gas equation can be rewritten as m into P into Vs is equal to m into Rts. So we know that m into Vs, mass into specific volume, will give you total volume. Mass into specific volume will give you total volume. So that we can rewrite the equation as PV is equal to MRT. PV is equal to MRT. This red in color, no, this equation is very important equation in thermodynamics. It's called as characteristic gas equation. PV is equal to MRT, characteristic gas equation. From that, some corollaries we can get. R is equal to PV divided by MT. Just simple multiplication, we can get R is equal to PV divided by MT. So M by V is equal to RT. We can get P is equal to M by V into RT. What is M by V? M by V, mass by volume, mass per volume is equal to density. So P is equal to rho RT. So these equations and all we will be using in our forthcoming sessions for solving the problem, particularly in gas dynamics. When we go for higher classes, we may study about the gas dynamics there and all. These equations will be very much useful. That the relationship between pressure and density, pressure and characteristic equation and all is very, very important. R is equal to the generalized gas equation is P1 V1 divided by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2. In simple word, we can call it as PV by T is equal to constant. Characteristic gas equation is PV is equal to MRT. That is, from that we can derive other formulas also. So with this today's session I complete. We can meet with another new session. So thank you for watching this session. Thank you very much.